And our first speaker tonight is going to be our Lake County Commissioner John Plecnik.
Thank you, Mr. Official, for making it official. We are going to pass issue 1 on August 8th, aren't we? I'm humbled and honored to serve as your Lake County Commissioner, but in my other life, I'm a law professor at Cleveland State University, and so I feel very strongly about teaching what issue 1 really means for Ohioans and really means for our freedom. We talk a lot about the elevation of the standard from 50 to 60%. And I absolutely agree that we should have a higher standard for changing our Constitution. Frankly, in this day and age, if it were so easy as it is in Ohio to change the U.S. Constitution, we would no longer have a republic. We would have lost it. So thank God that our founding fathers and mothers had that wisdom back then. We're playing catch-up. And when the other side says, it's about majority rule, I'm not going to have the right to vote, that's absolutely not true. What would the standard be if we actually required a majority of Ohioans, or even a majority of registered voters, to change our Constitution? It would be far higher than 50% plus 1, or even 60% of those who come out to vote. These off-year elections, when the liberals and out-of-state interests try to sneak through their craziest ideas, might have 6 to 15% turnout. So let's go to the low end of 6%. That doesn't mean 51% is making a choice for our family and our future. It means a little over 3% of Ohioans are making choices for the rest of us, and that's not right. So if you believe in majority rule and the right to vote, we have to pass issue 1, and we have to pass it now.
Amen.
As things stand, the second plank of what issue 1 accomplishes is guaranteeing that each and every county has a right to participate in constitutional amendments. It's horrifying to realize that under the current rules, when you're gathering your signatures for 10% of those who voted in the last gubernatorial election, that you only have to go to 44 of the 88, to only half the counties, to get consensus. And in reality, that means that the out-of-state special interests go to big super counties like Cuyahoga, Montgomery, Hamilton, and load up on signatures. And little counties like Vinton, sometimes even Lake and Geauga, are forgotten because we don't have the numbers for a paid signature collector campaign. And so we get ignored in the face of the bigger counties where you can more cheaply buy signatures, sometimes at $10 a pop. Frankly, signature collection should be illegal. And I hope that our representatives in Columbus make it so. It should be illegal to pay for signatures. They should have to go out like the rest of us. It should be neighbor to neighbor, grassroots. It shouldn't be about buying changes to our Constitution. But requiring all 88 counties to participate is a good start, because it will ensure that if you can't convince 5% of those who voted in the last gubernatorial election in Little Vinton County, and Lake County, and Geauga County, you don't get on the ballot, which gives every county a veto of sorts, and we will have the opportunity to push back on these crazy ideas from California and Massachusetts. But that's not all. Wait, there's more. Issue 1 has a third plank and a third benefit to all of us, which once again cuts against these paid signature collection campaigns. Right now, there's a cure period for constitutional amendments. So you go to the Secretary of State's office, and for free, and I'm saying that facetiously, with our taxpayer dollars, you have all of our boards of elections and the Secretary of State's office review, and if you don't have enough signatures, you get a second bite at the apple. You can go back to your paid signature collectors, hire them for another weekend or 2, and come back with more. Now, if I run for county commissioner and don't have enough signatures come the filing deadline, I'm off the ballot. If someone runs for school board and doesn't have enough signatures, they're off the ballot. If someone runs for state treasurer and don't have enough signatures, they don't get a cure period. The only people under the law who get a second bite at the apple are these paid signature collectors trying to buy our Constitution, and it's time to say no to this taxpayer-subsidized nonsense. Everyone should have to put the right signatures up first, and issue 1 will make sure that we treat everyone fairly and everyone the same. So looking at it from the substance, as an Ohioan, not an elected official or a politician, what issue 1 does is, number 1, it makes it a little bit harder, a little higher standard for a ballot measure to pass. Arguably, it should go even further, but it certainly shouldn't be lower, and it certainly shouldn't be the lowest in the nation. You know who else allows 50% plus one constitutional amendments? Michigan. And as far as I'm concerned, if Michigan, I was going to say the University of Michigan, does anything, we shouldn't, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but let's do it the Ohio way, and we've always set a higher standard than Michigan. But substantively, we elevate the standard, we require all counties to have a voice, and we say no second bite at the apple for special interests. That's what issue 1 is all about. And if you explain this to your neighbors, it's remarkable how many people come around. I was asked to go speak to the Geauga County GOP last week for their rally for issue 1, and their chair had generously brought up several hundred yard signs from Cuyahoga that we were able to then bring back to Lake County. And we thank our State Senator Jerry Serino for donating several hundred more issue 1 yard signs. With the help of Geauga and our State Senator, we were actually able to get many, many hundreds of signs more out. But when I was down there, I literally got a call from a Democrat friend who said, I was going to vote no, but I saw a lot of good people saying vote yes on social media, so I wanted to call you, law professor, and ask, what should I do? The 30 minutes it took me to drive down to Geauga, I'd want to vote. I'd want to vote because it's common sense. If you have the time to explain what I just shared with you to your neighbors, they're voting yes. Because who doesn't want a higher standard to change their constitution? Who doesn't want to be guaranteed that their county will be included in a petition drive? And who wants to pay more taxes to give a second bite at the apple to George Soros to amend their constitution? Come on, nobody wants that. So if you explain it even to your Democrat friends, they will come round. But that's the challenge that I have for all of you today. I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but the choir in church needs to work. We have to get out. We have to tell our neighbors. And not just say vote yes. Vote yes because we want to have the same sanctity for our Ohio Constitution that we have for the U.S. Constitution to preserve this union. Not just because I said so, but because every county deserves a voice. And do you really want to pay higher taxes to subsidize out-of-state special interests? Do you really want to give them a second bite of the apple when no one, not the governor, not the city council person, no one else gets this special taxpayer-subsidized privilege in the law? Together, we will bring that message door to door and neighbor to neighbor. And I want to close on this point. This amendment is about our Constitution, absolutely, and it can apply to any law, any attempted change. But we know it's also a matter of life and death, because we know that right now paid signature collectors are going all over Ohio and have gone all over Ohio to put an abortion amendment on the Constitution. And frankly, that's putting it politely. It's an abortion on demand amendment. It's an amendment that would take away parental rights and essentially force liberal ideals on the entire state of Ohio that go far beyond the evils of abortion. And there will be a lot of money behind this amendment because you know that death is a big industry. There is no money in running a church, our pastors know this, but there's a lot of money in death. There's a lot of money in killing the unborn, and they are going to be defending their interests aggressively. You're going to see millions upon tens of millions of dollars spent this November promoting the culture of death. And if issue 1 passes, it will be that much harder for them to succeed. So I want to join our pastor in one last prayer. God bless us in our efforts today and through August 8th, because Ohio needs to stay pro-life. Amen.